Hey, Fit Fam, what is up? It is Coach Katie Danger, and thank you so much for joining me again. We are in episode number 50, and that means in just 2 more episodes, we'll have gone through an entire year together, a whole year. And a lot has changed in a year. In fact, when I started doing this podcast, coronavirus wasn't even a thing, quarantine wasn't a thing, and 2020 was just getting started. So, a lot's changed in a year, and I'm so grateful, I'm so thankful to be able to have all of this information and this opportunity to share what I love with you. And what I love is fitness. I love what it has done for me. I love what it has done for others. And then I also like exploring how we're all so unique and unique opportunities that we can all try, and how failure isn't fatal. Age is just a number, and you can do anything you set your mind to. I guess those are a lot of my big goals, and just off the top of my head, that's what I come up with. So if you've been with me for 50 episodes now, including this one, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I hope that I can continue to bring you engaging, intelligent conversation that helps you live your life better and, improves your life at least 1% every time you hear me. So thank you again so much. And here we are, episode number 50, and here's what I'm going to be talking to you about today. I have most of my fitness career has been in the CrossFit world of some sort, right? Either competitively or just functionally. So I love CrossFit, and the CrossFit Games Open is coming up. If you're not familiar with the CrossFit Games Open, I believe the first year it was 2011, and it was a way in which the CrossFit world really did test for the fittest on earth. And it all starts in the Open. Literally anybody can enter, your mom, your dad, your grandma, yourself. They have teenage divisions, masters divisions, and anywhere in between. So no matter who you are, the CrossFit Games Open is a place that you can test your fitness. And the tests of fitness include essentially the 10 general physical skills. See if I can get them all off the top of my head. Strength, power, speed, endurance, stamina, accuracy, agility, flexibility, coordination, and balance. I got them all. And I don't have them in front of me. So if you happen to be listening to this episode just via audio, I do these all, I record all of these on YouTube. So if you want to see the episode on YouTube, you can see it. I do hand motions. I do things like that for emphasis. Just a little bit more animated than listening to it over audio. But so the CrossFit Games Open, it essentially starts with anybody can put the name in the hat. You pay a registration fee. I don't know what it's up to this year. I think it's just about $20. And you do these tests of fitness. They test time intervals, strength, speed, literally the 10 things that I just said they're testing on. And that's how we essentially get to the CrossFit Games champion. And if you've been following any of the CrossFit Games news, the biggest news break to come out in the past few months is that Matt Frazier, like the 12 million time men's CrossFit Games champion, has decided to retire. Really, next to Rich Froning, there is no second to Matt Frazier. He has been dominant in the sport for so long. So with him retiring, the good news is if you are a perennial CrossFit Games Open competitor, you're going to move up at least 1 spot this year. So congratulations, you will place better on that leaderboard this year than you did last year, simply because of that variable not being relevant anymore. So the CrossFit Games Open, before I go into that, I want to share, we're going to be talking about the 10 best supplements for the Open. With the Open, because it is only a 5-week test of your fitness, you got to give everything. If you're just a leaderboarder and you have no aspirations or no skill level current to make it to the next level, which is the regional competition, then you got to do the best here, right? If you want to put your best foot forward, I really believe supplements need to be a part of this equation for you. So that's what this podcast is about. It is about the best supplements to get your best CrossFit Open experience. And in fact, I actually did this presentation about 2 years ago to a small group of athletes when the Ready Nutrition store was still around. So I did this live, but I found it because I got an email from a friend, Jeff Ferguson. He's been a customer of Ready Nutrition. He's been a friend of mine virtually on Facebook for nearly 5 years now, since Red H has been around. But Jeff asked me a question if I was going to be doing a CrossFit stack again. Oftentimes I pick the best supplements and I put them together in a package. I'm like, here, take this if you want your best CrossFit Open performance. But I didn't do that this year. It takes a lot of work to bring out a product in a bundle, and those excuses. But what it did incline me to do is bust out this old presentation again and go through it, because this will help you, whether or not you choose Red H Nutrition brand products or not. This information will help guide you in terms of putting forth your best CrossFit Open performance yet, based on those 10 factors of fitness: strength, power, speed, endurance, stamina, flexibility, agility, accuracy, coordination, and balance. So all 10 of those, you can find supplements that bridge those gaps, that fill those puzzle pieces for you. And that's what this episode number 50 of the podcast is all about. But before I get there, I want to backtrack. And a few weeks ago, I told you I was doing an Everly Well food sensitivity test. Straight up, I'm not getting paid for this. I just do lots of things out of my own volition because I like to know the results. And I got my food sensitivity test results back, so I wanted to tell you all about them. The good news is I am not reactive to many foods at all. I have a mild reactivity. So they've got this scale. They've got normal reactivity, mild reactivity, moderate, and high. So there's 4 different, I guess, parts you can fall into. And mild reactivity is, if you're normal, they're not, everything else is normal. Out of 240 foods that were tested, only 14 came back as mild, and mild, like way, way on the low end of mild even as well. So I'm actually really, really pleased with that. I'm not surprised though. So I've got this funny joke to share with you. And this joke, my mother, bless her soul, she's a wonderful human, but she's just got some funny things. And I think like every mother does, right? All of our moms have things. My mom has said since I've been a little kid that one of the reasons we have no food sensitivities, we never had food allergies. I wasn't a breastfed child. I was actually fed soy, from what I understand. But my mom swears by this. So here's what she says. My cousins on my dad's side, they grew up, my cousin Greg, he's just a couple years older than me. My cousin Tim, just another couple years. So, and my sister and I are only a couple and a half years apart. So we're, like when it comes to comparing family members, that's how my mom does it. So they grew up with a lot of food allergies and sensitivities. They couldn't have this, they couldn't have that. They were very colicky babies. And my mom swears, and I don't know if there's any validity to this. Like I said, it's a mom thing. But she swears it's because she didn't feed my sister or I solid foods until we were well past like 2+ years old. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know any validity to this. It's just something a mom says and you think about. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I have been a very lucky human. I do not have any food allergies, but I do have a few sensitivities here. And remember, allergies and sensitivities are 2 different things. With an allergy, there's actually a histamine reaction. But a sensitivity could just be something that causes you a little bit of gastric distress, little digestion issues, diarrhea, bloat, small symptoms that aren't necessarily going to knock you off your day. But here's what I got. So out of the 240 that were tested, there's 14 that I have mild reactivity to. Barley, Brazil nuts, casein, cloves. So they also tested spices. Cloves, cow's milk, Emmental cheese, I guess Emmental, Emmental. It's basically just Swiss cheese. It's a yellow cheese. It was first produced in Switzerland. So this I have a mild reactivity to. Goat milk, marjoram, which is a spice, navy beans, pineapple, rye, thyme, the spice thyme, vanilla, and whey. And I'm really not surprised about the dairy ones. I mean, a lot of humans show mild sensitivities to dairies. And even the dairy that I do, the cow's milk, the casein, whey, goat's milk, they're really low on the mild reactivity. So anyways, I just thought that was very interesting. I guess I was not surprised at the results because I can pretty much eat anything I want. I've taken metabolic tests before that, tests like the best foods for your metabolism. And I usually come out balanced in every single test I take. Proteins, fats, carbohydrates. I'm just a balanced, normal person. Nothing too fancy about me. So when it comes to food sensitivities, I'll take balanced and normal any day. So I thought it was just interesting. It was a pretty quick turnaround time. I do have a YouTube video up of the process of taking the test. You got to do a blood. You got to prick your finger and you put some blood on a sheet. So those are my results. 14 out of 240 very mild reactivities too. So all good things, right? I did the Everly Well test, and they got a lot of different health tests. I'm taking their women's test right now. So it does hormones, but that's all based on your cycle. So that's not just one day, it's a whole month process for that. But those are my results. I wanted to share those with you. I thought it was really fun. And there's, they dive in detail here about all of these different tests, like rye, pineapple, navy beans. It goes in detail. It's not just like, hey, your mild reactivity. It tells you a little bit more. And then it also tells you some hidden sources of where these certain foods are founded. So let's get to the meat and potatoes, shall we? The episode number 50, we're talking about the CrossFit Games Open and supplements you can use to fortify yourself, to put your best foot forward so you can really, really amplify these 10 factors of fitness, because this is what the CrossFit Open Games tests on. It's these 10 factors of fitness. So if you're listening right now, this is who this information is for. It's for anybody who wants a performance advantage this year. Do you want to finish better than you did last year? And like I said, as a byproduct of Matt Fraser's retirement, we're all going to do one position better at least. If you believe in seizing every opportunity you can, if you hate leaving anything on the competitive floor, if you want your best result, keep listening. And if you also really like nutrition and supplementation, if you're already using supplements, this will give you more education on how to fine-tune your routine for the specific goal of finishing better in the CrossFit Games Open, amplifying the 10 factors of fitness so you can get the best result you've gotten. My number one goal here for you listeners right now is that you're going to leave this podcast, leave this conversation with an abundance of knowledge on how to assess your workout for the factors of fitness, the 10 factors of fitness, and apply these supplemental nutrition strategies and options. They're going to optimize the workout, your performance, and your recovery outcomes. So a common myth that I get from a lot of athletes is, I don't need to supplement and I get everything I need from food. I believe it is a myth, and I'm going to go through here and tell you why I believe it's a myth. I kind of already led with, if you want to get more from your performance and nutrition, supplements are just necessary. Being better than you were last year means doing things a little bit differently than you've done them before. So I don't believe that if you're going to get a lot of the things you need from food, and that is accurate. But if you really want to optimize your recovery, nutrition, that strategy, you're going to need to supplement. But first, let me tell you, who am I? If you've listened to the podcast for more than a few episodes, you know I've been a competitive CrossFit Games athlete for a long time. I don't participate competitively in CrossFit anymore. The last competition I did was actually last year in January for a local competition at CrossFit Hydro. And it was a team competition. I trained really, really hard for 4 months. I actually did do the 2019 Open because that was an odd year, right, where they changed everything and they did one in the fall rather than the spring. So let me give you a rundown of my CrossFit Games Open experience. 2011, that was the first year I went on a team. We went a CrossFit Regionals team. 2012, I qualified as an individual. 2013, 14, 15, all qualified as an individual. My best finish ever overall worldwide was in 2015 when I finished 161st female overall. And then in the region, I have finished as high as 15th overall. So the North Central region is now the Central Regional, which makes up even more states. And the last time I actually participated in the games as a competitive athlete on the competition floor was in 2015 as an individual at the Central Regional. And that was actually in Chicago, Illinois at Navy Pier. That was a really, really fun experience. And that was the last time that I did it as an individual. It takes a lot of work. But I will tell you, in addition to the work, setting myself up for success all revolved around how can I amplify these 10 factors of fitness. The 10 general physical skills is what you'll hear them called a lot. And if you dive in deep to the early CrossFit Games journals and the rhetoric and a lot of the foundation of what Greg Glassman talked about, he talks about these 10 general physical skills all the time. Strength, power, speed, endurance, stamina, coordination, balance, agility, flexibility, and accuracy. And I will keep talking about those until my face is blue because they matter. Everybody always wants to know, how can I be a better CrossFitter? And they think all it is barbell cycling and lifting heavier weights. And there's just so much more to it than that. Is a focused approach to the fine motor skills and the gross motor skills, which make up the 10 general physical skills. I always find there's this graph that's available online at wadprep.com, and they go through the open workouts from 2011 to 2019. They don't have 2020 data yet on here, but I don't really think it matters. It talks about the open movements, the movements you're going to most likely see. And we see toes to bar, double unders, chest to bar pull-ups, thrusters, muscle-ups. And that includes bar and ring muscle-ups. So what you do here is you look at these movements and you're like, all right, I know what I know what skills are necessary. I know what smaller pieces of the puzzle are necessary to improve my thrusters, to improve my double unders and my toes to bar. When we talk about things like that, we talk about endurance, stamina, speed, and then there's different workout types. So not only do we have a list of movements, and then we have some in the medium that have seen, like 70 to 80% snatch, wall balls, burpees, deadlifts, box jumps, handstand push-ups, overhead squats, shoulder to overhead. And then you kind of start to put stuff away that doesn't necessarily need to be worked on as much in the 10% range. We've only seen it once or twice in the Open ever. Dumbbell hang clean and jerks, dumbbell squats, even push-ups. So we haven't seen some of this stuff very much. The great thing is in CrossFit, everything is everything. But when it comes to the Open, you really, really want to take what the data has given you, what statistics give you, and put that in with the general factors of or the 10 general physical skills, the 10 factors of fitness, and you can really amplify your performance if you take a focused, intentional approach to one, your training, and to two, your nutrition and supplementation. So then there's some different types of workouts. How do we put all these movements together? Well, there's couplets and there's triplets. We've seen couplets 23 different workouts through 2011 and 2019. We've seen couplets. We've seen triplets 14 times. Couplets are 2 movements put together. Triplets are 3. And then we compare these to just single modality workouts, where there's just, you just do a snatch as many times as you can. We've only seen that 5 times. Quadruplets when there's 4, or quintuplets when there's 2. And those are usually around what we call chippers, where you have just a list of movements and you just got to chip away at the rep scheme and get to the end. So those are the different types of workouts we see. So we know what movements we're going to see. We know the different ways that they're going to be put together. And then how can you put this all together to optimize your 2021 Open experience and results? Well, the first step is when you get the workout, when the workout comes out, when Dave Castro does all the shenanigans and the theatrics around releasing the workout, you got to categorize the workout based on the 10 factors of fitness that I've said over and over again, right? The first one is going to be, that we're going to talk about, is endurance. And endurance is the ability of the body system to gather, process, and deliver oxygen. And one supplement that I really, really love for endurance is beetroot powder. And it all has to do with the nitrates, the nitric oxide, and then the release of improvement in blood flow of oxygen in your body. If you have more oxygen capacity, you can continue to do more work, right? It's the ability of the body systems to gather, process, and deliver oxygen. So with endurance, beetroot powder is phenomenal. Specifically when it comes to Red H Nutrition products, I made Apex O2 exactly for endurance and stamina, exactly for it. And then we get into number 2, stamina. Stamina is just a little bit different than endurance. Stamina is the ability of the body systems to process, deliver, store, and utilize energy. So before with endurance, we had the body to gather, process, deliver oxygen. But with stamina, we are talking about the body systems to process, deliver, store energy. If you can increase your body's ability to utilize energy more effectively and efficiently, you're going to do more work faster. It is science, right? So endurance and stamina go together, because if you can improve oxygen delivery and you can improve the energy delivery to your body and ATP, you're going to be able to do more work faster. So here's a few things that I would recommend. Apex O2, I mentioned that before. Vitamin B12. Vitamin B12 in the methyl cobalamin form. Methyl is just an easier, more bioavailable product, and it's got a higher percentage of B12, so you're actually getting more in your body, getting a higher effective dose. And then if you're able, I wouldn't experiment with a pre-workout, a new one especially, in this Open, unless you're going to do multiple workouts, or if you're going to try a workout once and then try it again. But a pre-workout, if you find a good one like Formula H from Red H Nutrition, that keeps your heart rate just below the red line, but allows you to continue to utilize oxygen better, gives you a little bit more of a pump, certainly helps you with your cognitive motivation and mental processes and your mindset, I highly recommend a pre-workout. But there's a caveat to that. Do not try anything new, or even a new brand before a workout, unless you know you're just experimenting and screwing around. You always want to put your best foot forward, so that's why I would say stay away from a pre-workout before a competition, especially if you're not used to taking one. Then there's strength. Strength is the ability of a muscular unit or a combination of muscular units to apply force. And you can significantly increase your strength with creatine supplementation. Not necessarily like day of, but if you start taking creatine now, weeks before the Open starts, Here's what creatine is going to do for you. It's going to work to increase the availability of creatine and phosphocreatine within the muscle. Phosphocreatine is the anaerobic energy system. And if you know about the energy systems in CrossFit, we know that explosive power, efforts that don't exceed 5 minutes, phosphocreatine and anaerobic, when you're working out without oxygen, or testing your muscles' ability to still fire and contract effectively without oxygen, phosphocreatine, having this addition in your body, it helps maintain high energy during high intensity exercise. And it also increases availability of creatine, which improves the recovery between sets. So we're talking better strength and better recovery. Now, another component that always comes into strength, a lot of my male athletes are always asking, how do I improve my testosterone? And we never want to promote taking steroids, but everybody knows that if you do take steroids, they work, right? I mean, that's why people take them, because they work. But there's plenty of ways to do this naturally, so you stay within the rule book and guidelines that CrossFit Open, WADA, the DOD, all of those, when we have to have a drug-free, safe sport. And you can do that naturally with zinc and magnesium. So think deeply about your zinc and magnesium intake. Magnesium is responsible for over 600 cellular processes, and that includes muscle contraction. So it's really, really important for certain supplements to enter into your body, into your nutrition plan, well before the open starts. Creatine is one of them. I recommend ZenRem from Red H Nutrition, or H Drive. It's our newest testosterone booster. It improves the testosterone in your blood. So it does this naturally. It doesn't affect the negative feedback loop. So you're not going to have any issues with cycling or coming down or coming off, or certainly not have any issues with drug testing. So ZenRem is great for sleep and improving your test levels at night and helping with recovery. And then the Red H Nutrition H Drive, brand new test booster. It's all natural, and it helps improving that blood serum test booster. And then, of course, there's protein. If you want to increase your strength, you want to build muscle, you need adequate protein. The general rule of thumb is 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, especially during the CrossFit Open. You might want to even be looking at upwards of 1.2 grams of protein per pound of body weight. Simply, if you're going to be doing, double workouts, triple workouts, trying to maintain your regular schedule, protein, protein, protein. And then there's flexibility. Flexibility is the ability to maximize the range of motion at a given joint. If you want to improve your flexibility and range of motion, you have to decrease the inflammation that surrounds your joints and tissues. You've got to lubricate your joints to reduce friction, wear, and tear. And pretty much everybody's favorite supplement in the entire world is Superflexi. So if you haven't been taking Superflexi, it's another one that you should highly consider adding into your nutrition routine well before the open starts, weeks before. Get a head start on that inflammation. You may think you're walking around and you don't have any inflammation, but there's always silent inflammation going on in our guts, in our joints, and that creates wear and tear and friction. So if you are going to be doing a lot more exercise and routine as the open approaches, Superflexi is going to be your best friend. And the foundation of it is turmeric, high quality 95% extract turmeric that helps reduce that inflammation and helps lubricate the joints, prevents wear and tear. It's a no-brainer. Then there's power. Power is the ability of a muscular unit or combination of muscular units to apply maximum force in a minimal time. If you have a high ability to apply high maximal force over and over again, you're going to significantly improve your resistance efforts. And here's some secret weapons for improving your power in terms of supplementation. BCAAs, citrulline, and whey protein. We already talked about protein and how it promotes protein synthesis and will ultimately lead to an increased power output and recovery. But BCAAs, I really like to talk about leucine, isoleucine, and valine, and how they help regulate protein metabolism. They promote protein synthesis. They suppress protein degradation. So you not only get the protein synthesis, growing new muscular units and cells, but it prevents the breakdown of muscle tissue. And all around, you put those two together and you have a greater recovery from resistance training. Now, citrulline also helps boost ATP production, adenosine triphosphate, and it boosts the amount of power and energy that someone can harness during a lifting session. So if you have one of those open workouts where you have to test your strength after you've already been fatigued, perhaps with another triplet or a couplet, citrulline is going to be a great addition to your pre-workout routine. This isn't something you necessarily have to take all the time, but your pre-workout routine is going to help you harness more power during your lifting session. So Red H Nutrition, it's got Go Juice for BCAAs, citrulline, Formula H pre-workout, and then yes, whey protein for your protein needs. Or maybe not whey protein, but a protein source. So vegan protein sources. Make sure you get as complete of protein as you possibly can. I like to find blends. So we have a no whey vegan protein powder. It combines 3 different sources, quinoa, brown rice, and pea protein. So it gets you actually complete protein, so you're still getting all the good amino acids as well. Speed. So now we're kind of getting into the fine motor skills of what makes up a CrossFit Open workout. And speed is the ability to minimize the cycle time of a repeated movement. So this is like, when you see athletes barbell cycling, right? You want to do it effectively and efficiently, and you got to do it for time, and that's where speed comes in. And we all know that in the open, in competition, sometimes it's not even the seconds that counts. I mean, we already know every second counts, but we're talking milliseconds here too. Milliseconds in the time that it takes between your nervous system to deliver the message to your muscles and then for you to execute it. So speed, we find it programmed a lot in a functional fitness program, but supplements, you can use supplements to acutely affect speed, the nervous system, right? The nervous system message to give you immediate performance improvements and advantages. And here's some supplements I want you to think about for speed improvements. Caffeine, beetroot powder, and probiotics. And it might be kind of an odd take on probiotics for speed, but if you have better gut health, you have a better nervous system, you have a more efficient nervous system, and that just means you have more speed. I already mentioned that if your nervous system can communicate a message from your brain down your spinal cord to your muscles faster than your competition, you will probably put yourself in a position to perform better. Bottom line. Then there's coordination. Coordination is the ability to combine several distinct movement patterns into a single distinct movement pattern. And if you've been around CrossFit for a couple years now, one fun thing they've been adding into the mix is synchronized workouts. So this is where coordination comes in. And here's some supplements I want you to consider for coordination. Ginseng. Ginseng reduces fatigue and lethargy. Guarana. Guarana improves your cognition, improves the nervous system's function to deliver those fine motor skill messages to the rest of your body so you can execute. And then turmeric. I talked about turmeric in flexibility, but when you have reduced joint inflammation and you're able to move about the cabin with more range of motion, you're going to decrease your chance of injury and you're going to be more coordinated. So for those, I would recommend, ginseng and guarana, but then super flexi as well. Agility. Agility is our ability to minimize transition time from one movement pattern to another. For athletes and workouts that require quick movements from side to side, front to back, and all around, if you can improve your agility, it can be the difference between first place and last place, and it really, really can. And you can see things like that in a lot of CrossFit Games workouts where the margin for error is so razor thin. So we start talking about speed, coordination, agility, and then in a few moments here, balance and accuracy. This is kind of where your money's made when you start moving up the leaderboard, okay? If you're not, if you're an everyday athlete and you're just doing this for fun, that's one thing. But if you're an everyday athlete and you really, really want to start chipping away at those places so you can maybe make a regional appearance someday, it's these fine motor skills, the speed, the coordination, the agility, the balance, the accuracy. That's where your money is going to be made. So supplements to consider for agility, very, very similar to coordination: ginseng, guarana, turmeric, glucosamine, chondroitin, MSM, and even collagen type 2, because collagen type 2 and even collagen types 1 and 3, they help improve our joints, our tendons, our ligaments. It reduces inflammation, and it will improve your agility. Hands down, if you feel better, you're going to move about the cabin a lot better. And that's what I think an agile athlete is capable of when they feel good. Then there's balance. And balance is the ability to control the placement of your body's center of gravity in relation to its support base. So balance is so important for preventing injury. Most of the time in CrossFit, we're balanced. We got a barbell, we got both of our feet on the ground. There's like 2 to 4 points of contact at all time, right? Excuse me. But with balance, when it comes to being competitive, a benefit of balance that's often overlooked, because it's just not that sexy. Like who goes up to their friends after workout and they're like, dude, my balance was so on point. We don't really talk about that. What we talk about is I had 120 kilo snatch, or I finally broke the 100 kilo mark on my snatch or my clean and jerk. But that is balance, and having good balance means adding weight to your lifts. It means reducing injury. It means less downtime, more stimulus from day to day, and being able to stay on top of your training program. And with balance, I'm going to go back to Superflexi, that joint and tissue supplement, turmeric, glucosamine, chondroitin, MSM, collagen, type 1, type 2, and type 3. And then there's accuracy. And accuracy really wasn't something that CrossFit talked you didn't see a lot of it until we started talking about like wall balls at a target. There was a time in CrossFit where it was just a wall ball, like you just throw it up, right? And you want to get up as high as you can. But when we started doing targeted wall balls, it put a different metric to what was actually needed to be achieved to get that, to get the point or the rep, and that's accuracy. And accuracy is the ability to control movement in a given direction or at a given intensity. And why is accuracy important for you? Well, other than being able to make sure that you hit a target for your wall ball for it to count as a rep, there is always a winner in sports. And it's oftentimes the difference between winning or losing who is most on point. Did you hit the mark exactly how you should have hit the mark? And accuracy matters. It matters, and precision matters. It's how you get over the finish line. It's how you finish, and that's what accuracy is. It's precision. So some supplements to consider. It's going to all be around the nervous system and improving your cognitive function. Nootropics, brain vitamins, very, very fancy words, but that's what they're called. Ginkgo, ginseng, and guarana. And specifically, I love Ataraxis from Red H Nutrition. That is a brain vitamin specifically formulated so a functional fitness athlete, so an everyday athlete, so a CrossFit athlete, just like you listening or watching right now, can improve your cognition, improve your mental clarity, improve your focus, improve your nervous system, and the messages it delivers to your muscles so you can execute accurately every single time. I hope that through going step by step through all of these 10 general physical skills, you'll understand just how important supplements can be for fine-tuning. Think of it as a puzzle piece, right? You've got this puzzle, 100 piece, 1,000 piece, however many pieces your puzzle has to it. Think of it like this. Most of the time your puzzle, it's just fine, right? You can see the picture, you know what it is, you know where you're going. But when the open rolls around and you really want a more complete view of how you can do better, this is where bridging the gap or finishing your puzzle becomes so important. So take this information and run with it because it is out there. None of it's a secret. And for some odd reason, I guarantee your competition isn't going to use this information to their advantage. So use it to your advantage and chip away at the placements and see how well you can do this year. I know the sky is the limit. And when you start putting your puzzle together, even as complete as possible, you're going to get even better results. So here's some practical application for you. I wanted to go through this as well. I think this is awesome. I chose CrossFit Games Open Workout 13.2. So it was the second workout in 2013. Here's the workout. It's a triplet. Complete as many rounds and reps as possible in 10 minutes of a shoulder to overhead at 5 reps, a deadlift at 10 reps, and 15 box jumps. So it's 5 shoulder overhead, 10 deadlift, and 15 box jumps. So we have this triplet here in 10 minutes. So we can start thinking like, okay, this is a little anaerobic, but it is an aerobic triplet. This is an aerobic workout. I'm definitely going to need endurance. You're going to need stamina, strength, speed, because we got to move through these movements quickly and effectively, and every rep needs to count. Agility, balance, and accuracy. Those are the factors of fitness that are tested in this workout. Endurance, stamina, strength, speed, agility, balance, and accuracy. So first thing you do when you get your workout for the Games Open is you look at it and go, okay, what factors of fitness are tested? What 10 are being tested? And you're going to find a lot of times athletes that like pretty much everything's being tested, but I would say find at least 5. There's probably at least 5 every single workout, unless it's a single modality, just one movement. But that's a practical application. So that was workout 13.2. Let's see here. I have another one. Let's see here. That was a triplet. Let's go with the couplet. So we got CrossFit Games Open Workout 17.5. So 5th and final workout in 2017. 10 rounds for time. 10 rounds for time. So this is for time. Really, it's, you're going to finish this workout or die, one or the other first. And it's 9 thrusters and 35 double unders. So you just move between the two as fast as you possibly can. So here's the factors of fitness that I found were tested. Endurance, stamina, strength, speed, agility, balance, and coordination. And I would say there's actually a little bit of accuracy here too with the double unders, but those double unders, you're really going to be tested after fatigue with your coordination, with your stamina and your strength in your shoulders and in your arms. That's why I like to look at workouts. And even after the open, this information is really good. When you go up to the whiteboard, when you look, on the daily workout of the day, whatever you see it on, when your coach posts it, you're gonna be like, all right, I know it's being tested and I know I can set myself up for success. And that's how I look at workouts, and that's how you can look exactly at open workouts. And this is the secret formula for doing better than you did last year. Maybe you did use supplements last year, but this is how you can put all the pieces together to do even better, because now you know how to look at a workout and then how to put the pieces of the puzzle together to get the best result for you, right? And that's with supplements. That's what we're talking about here, is the best supplements to take for your best CrossFit Open performance in 2021. So I feel like I just X'd out the myth that you do not get everything you need from food during the CrossFit Games Open, and you really should supplement. And here's the cool thing. Not very many people are going to heed this advice, but if you do, you will beat the competition. You, instead of placing maybe 171st, maybe this is like 150th for you. But that's better than last year, wasn't it? And every little percentage is better. And I want you to take this information. I really want you to use it. I used it. I use it to success to this day. So I just want to really ask, are you ready? Are you ready to take this information and do better? If you have any questions, you know how you can reach me. You can go to CoachKatieDanger.com. You can look at all the other training guides I have. You should take the 3-point supplement assessment. That's kind of the foundational approach to what supplements you should take just as a lifestyle. But when it comes to CrossFit Games Open, the 3 for $99 bundle from RedHnutrition.com is the best deal. You get to choose any 3 you want. You can listen back through this podcast. You can look at the transcript notes. I'm actually also going to post the PowerPoint presentation I made with this that I'm following along with and reading to you off of this. But you can use all this information. You can pick out your best 3 supplements, or 4, or 5, or however many you want to get. If you've got any questions, though, please email me, Katie@CoachKatieDanger.com. I will be happy to answer any questions you have. I'm really excited to see how the 2021 Open is going to turn out. I'm not quite sure yet if I'm going to enter. I could go to a CrossFit gym. I feel like I'm always ready for anything. I still do high intensity interval training, but I'm doing more bodybuilding movements, machine exercises, dumbbells. It'd be interesting. I'm not quite sure yet, but I do know that all the information I shared with you today is just as relevant in 2021 as it was in 2011, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and last year. All of this information is still the same because all of the workouts are still programmed with these 10 factors of fitness in mind. And I'm going to say it one more time. They are strength, power, speed, endurance, stamina, coordination, balance, agility, flexibility, and accuracy. You guys, thanks again for joining me for episode number 50. And I've told you all about how supplements can help you have your best CrossFit Open performance ever in 2021. If you have not purchased anything from RedHnutrition.com, use my coupon code CoachKatieDanger, all one word, and you can save 30% on your very first purchase. That's right, 30% on your very first purchase. And what a better way to do it than to set yourself up for success for the CrossFit Games 2021 Open. I hope you guys have a fantastic week. I hope you'll join me again next week. As always, this is your coach, Coach Katie D. Over and out.